fish and these ones come from Turkey. I can't.
So they're wild fish and these come from Turkey. I bet they're really wild when they get here.
Quite expensive. Obviously when this first came to this country, the fish were about 99p plus VAT each. Now they're £4 plus VAT each.
Right.
Yes.
How long do they last? Oh, that's
It should last about 6 years.
Oh,
That's
okay.
their lifespan. Yeah.
All right. And do you just feed them
Tropical fish food.
and people's feet?
Every other day. They don't actually eat the skin. The skin never actually hits their gut.
All right.
They excrete that via their gills, and that's what helps with the softening effect.
And then why do they bother?
Well, because they are actually a water maggot.
Oh,
I'll tell you that after you've taken your feet out. In the springs where they live wild, in Turkey and Malaysia, etc., if a dead animal falls in the water, a bird or mouse or a rat or something, yeah, they go in and they clear the springs. So in some places in Malaysia, they actually they're sacred. They won't actually export them because they say if it wasn't for the fish, all their springs would be stagnant.
Yeah.
I'll put it back to you. But there are some hotels now in Turkey which have done a sort of man-made spas, body spas, which they completely fill with fish.
Oh, so you immerse completely?
Full body. Yeah. And you just swim in the fish. If you suffer with psoriasis or eczema or something like that,
Be quite good.
it's really good for you.
Naked? Are you naked?
No, you're not naked, no, you'd be in a swimming costume. I wouldn't want to go in naked.
I thought that.
Just in case they disappear.
In the wrong places, yes.
I'm definitely.
Like, you come out with like tails like that.
I wasn't thinking of your nose holes.
No, not that. They don't think that. It's okay.
I know you.
Oh, right.
There was actually a programme on the telly. Did you see that there was somebody in Japan? It was all over the news. A Japanese in Japan, they do it with, they're like a type of an eel.
Oh, yes.
They're like a worm, thinner than a worm, and they go into these full body tanks. And the worm went somewhere on this particular male, and it had to be removed surgically.
Don't think I'll bother.
No, I don't think I want to do that.
In his ears.
There are fish that do that, aren't there? If you that go up if you urinate in the water, they can swim up the stream.
Oh.
Even if you're out of the water, they can swim up the stream.
Well, mackerel eat dead bodies, don't they? Or dead things.
Well, lots of fish would eat.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I mean, we can't get smaller. If we was to get smaller fish, even for the tanks, you put the small fish in and the big ones, they just eat them. And obviously, they can't breed either. Well, they do breed, but as soon as they lay the eggs, so they. Yeah, it's nature, isn't it? It's what they do.
If they had big
How
mackerel,
do they breed
them?
Well, we can't breed them, but they breed them. Obviously, they breed them.
But how do they breed if they eat their eggs?
I think they have to do it under very strict.
Well, in the wild.
In the wild, yeah. Well, yeah.
But I suppose some survive.
Some
don't they?
survive,
They have
yeah.
so many, probably. Because they lay millions of eggs.
Yeah, and then obviously they probably hide them and under the sand and dig holes, etc. Can't really do a lot in a mirrored tank. No getting away.
How do you know if they're a man or a lady?
Well, the females are bigger than the males,
Yeah.
and the females are lighter. They're lighter in colour. So you can actually tell in the tank that you were in. There's a couple of fish that are actually quite big and are a lighter colour, and they are females.
Have you noticed we swapped?
I did.
There seems to be more fish in that one, so she
Yeah.
decided she wanted to go in there.
Yeah, we can't train them, you see, so it's nothing we can. Some people go, oh, they don't seem to be. Sometimes they're very, very nibbly, and other times they aren't, and you kind of think, well,
In this
you
one,
can't actually train them, so if they don't do it,
in this one, they were always on that side of the tank.
were they?
Yeah.
Mm.
So I kind of like cross my legs.
Maybe they're after your dad's feet.
Yeah, might be.
We'll have them ones.
Do you have any really manky feet?
Oh, I can't disclose that. I can't disclose information about other people's feet. I'll put it like this, they're not all so pretty as yours.
When can they not go in? What's wrong? What's the
Open wounds, we don't allow anybody in. I know sometimes the ones in the towns they do put plasters on, but
all right?
not if it's an open wound. I think it's for fungal infection.
So I suppose that just goes. That's not. Is that to protect the fish or the other feet?
It's to protect the fish really.
Right. Okay.
The worst thing for the fish is spray tan.
All right.
We had some girls go in who said they did have spray tan. So you can't say to them, we didn't show that they did have. And we lost about 100 fish.
Yeah, right.
We did the next day. And obviously we had with the girl Ruth sent to people. He's a marine biologist, and he came down and went all around the top of the tank, and it was just like a big orange. But there's nothing you can do. It's not like you can phone the person up and say, actually, you killed all my fish. You owe me £400.
Why can't you?
You can't can't prove it.
No.
Can't prove it. And even though we don't use the tanks, the tanks aren't used all day, every day. We don't. And if somebody sort of hooks, if there's only 2 people up here, that's how it stays for the half an hour. We don't bring anybody else in with them. So they're not being used all the time. So it's like a
The
conveyor.
spray tank come off and put it down there.
Well, it does, doesn't it? Because around the edges, that's what they...
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm talking about down there.
Oh, I don't know.
No, the spray tan takes a long time to come off. So you can't really tell.
They wouldn't end up walking downstairs with white feet, would they?
No. So it's just one of those things really. So that's why we just kind of double check it.
Well, she was much fairer than mine.
It's because I've been on holiday.
I've been on holiday, I never tan.
I've been
No.
on holiday, but my feet don't change colour. Nothing about it.
No, I've gone yellow. Should have stayed a week longer.
There.
Thank you very much.
Lovely, thank you.